Hey, what's going on? This is your girl, Miss Marcy, and I am here to do my review on Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8, Episode 4, Rocky Boat Horror Story. Alright, so it starts out Kenya is worried about Sheree's damn house, okay? She walks over there and she's like, "Oh, I'm here." Like she's still talking about that damn house. I'm like, why the hell is she worried about Sheree's house? I mean, she gonna help she by Sheree pay for that damn house? Chateau Sheree? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. But to me she's just too damn worried about the damn house. So anyway, that was just a little small scene I had to comment on. So on the next scene, Portia and Phaedra go lingerie shopping. Okay, they go, doing their little girl thing and they're shopping and just being all girly like and So they go get some lingerie. Portia goes to get the lingerie for her man Duke, and Sheree's just, I mean, I'm sorry, not Sheree, but Phaedra's just going just to be getting some, just that's what women do. So they go do that, have their little girl moment bonding and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, moving on. Candy and Cynthia, they conversate about Cynthia and Peter. Okay. So, they're just talking about her and Peter or whatever and what's going on. And I just feel like Cynthia, I don't know, I just think Cynthia needs to quit talking about it with people and just keep it between her and Peter. But I always say that that's one of her and Peter's problems is they have everybody in their daggone business. So, but I mean, Candy, it wasn't a negative conversation. That's one thing I can say. Candy didn't say nothing negative about Peter, and she didn't give Cynthia no negative advice or anything like that. So I guess you know what I mean. It's okay, but still, you got to be careful with running your mouth to your friends or whatever. You know. So Phaedra, moving on to the next scene. Phaedra and Kim, they have a little play date with their kids. Kim comes over with her children, and they have a pool, some pool fun in the pool, while Phaedra and Kim sits along on the side pool on the pool side basically. And I thought that was really cute, and I thought that was cool because it seems like Phaedra and Kim do connect a little more. It seems like Kim connects better than with Phaedra than she does the rest of the girls. And because if you ask me honestly, and I've been saying this, Kim don't really fit in with none of this. Kim just don't fit in with this crew. She don't fit in with these breed of women. You know what I mean? I think Kim needs to be. Kim seemed like for real she would be more so on a show like. Let me see who got a reality show that I think Kim will fit better with. I don't know, somebody, just not these women, not these women. She just seemed like she would fit more in with the like somebody that's old school, somebody that's really don't have a lot of drama on their show. Maybe a show like remember when Rev Run had his show? Which I used to love their show. They still doing reality shows. Matter of fact, I just saw Rev Run and Justine. They're doing their traveling channel show, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed that show. I enjoyed them anyway. But when they had their show, with the family, when all the everybody was still living at home, Vanessa, Angela, all of them, Russie and Dinky were little, and JoJo. You know what I'm saying? They was all at home and stuff. I used to love their show. But anyway. Kim needs a show like that. That wasn't a show where it was any drama. It was just family. Kim needs a more of a family oriented show. If she's gonna do reality, she needs to be on a show more like that. Anywho, moving on. So they're having their play day, and it looks like they both were pretty much enjoying themselves. So that was cool to see a little mother to mother bonding with their children and everything. So that was cool. All right, and I want to say this too. Kim is very conservative, and it just I think that's what kind of throws her. Well, I'm not gonna say that's what throws me off of her on this show because you know Phaedra's kind of conservative too. But see, then again, Phaedra has a little bit of a little wild side, a little bit too. Which we can see a little bit. She kind of lets it peek out, play a little peekaboo with it from time to time. you know. But Kim just seems like she just straight up and down conservative. I don't know. So that's another reason why I feel like she doesn't fit in with this group of women. To me, she just no, just okay, whatever. So um, as they're talking or whatever, Kim realizes that she's lost herself. And I don't really think she lost herself. I think she just more so she just enjoys being a mommy and a wife and all that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think she just enjoys that so much to the point where she doesn't really care to um do girls trips and have female friends. I have a relative like that. My cousin is like that. I have a cousin who really doesn't have a whole lot of female friends, but she has a husband and she has children, and she's a good mother, a good wife. You know what I'm saying? She really doesn't. I mean, she has a social life, but it's very limited, and she's okay with that. Some people are just like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, there's not something wrong with you just because you don't, hang out with, your female friends all the time and all that kind of stuff. And hell, from what we see on the show, you see most of the time that's a bunch of damn trouble. Look how much drama they be in. But we also know that it's scripted. But I mean, to some extent, that does go on in real life. That's why me personally, I don't take female. I don't. Too many females on one trip, honey. No, thank you. I'm not going. I don't do it. I don't do the. I fuck all that girl power shit and all that. Nope. Because a lot of times, you'll think, oh, it sounds like a great idea. We can all go and have some female fun and just, hey, girls power, no, nope. Because let me tell you what happens. Just like you see on these reality shows, this shit happens in real life. You go on these trips with all these bitches, and it's always that one or two bitch. It's always that one bitch or two bitches that either somebody's secretly jealous of somebody's feeling insecure, because you never know what women got going on at home. A lot of times some women are dealing with being with a man that ain't treating them right, or they just don't feel secure in their relationship, or you got some women dealing with just being single, wanting somebody. Then you got the one chick that seems to have it all, the looks, the man, and I mean, it's always something. So you get a group of women together, they take these damn trips, and it's always a little bit of cattiness going on, a little bit of shade. You always have either that one or two chick, um, that wants to be closer with each other than everybody else, or just, what I'm saying? And then also another reason I don't like to take trips with a lot of women is because you don't know. Everybody has different styles of the way they like to travel and what they consider fun and what they like to do. you know you may go on a trip, you may want to do one thing, you and another person, and then the other girls may want to do something else, and then somebody might get an attitude. Women, we are really quick to voice our opinion, where we all feel like we are the queen of our castle, so we all have this thing about us where we always feel like we have the right to say what we feel, or we have the right to give our opinion about some shit. And it's just too much. It becomes too much. Okay. So I'm not saying I don't have female friends, because I do, but I'm very particular about who I travel with and how many women I travel with. Honey, if it's more than three, or maybe even more than four is pushing it for me. But if it's more than that, shit, no thank you, bitch. No thank you. I don't want to go. Nope, I don't want to go. But anyway, I didn't mean to get all off into that, but I just had to put that out there, because these shows be really tripping me out on these damn trips they go on. They can't even enjoy the damn play. They be going to some nice places too. Can't even enjoy it because they be so busy getting on drama. Anyway, so she realized she done lost herself, and that's that. So, okay. Anyway, moving on to Portia's ass. Portia decides to FaceTime Duke. Okay, but he's a no-show. He's a no-show. She got on this sexy ass lingerie, the lingerie that she bought from the store with her and Phaedra. Girl, that lingerie was so sexy, but honey, Duke was not here for it. It was a no call, no show. Poor Portia. She's just really trying to get out there and date. Oh, no, well, I'm not gonna say she's trying to date, but she's trying to really get out there and, yeah, move on, rather. Move on from the whole Cordell situation or whatever. Move on. It seems like she's trying to have fun. At the same time, she's trying to have that special one. and the two is just not mixing. So I don't know what Portia need to do, but if I was her, I would just chill out, quit acting like such a hot tamale ass, because she's giving off the impression to me that she's ready to just have fun, okay? And men love that, you know what I mean? But there's no guarantee somebody gonna stick around, and I think deep down Portia really wants somebody that's gonna stick around. And at the same time, though, she might just want to have fun, but she might be telling herself she want that special person because she doesn't want to feel like she just want to have fun. Because when she was with Cordell, it just seemed like once they broke up, like I said in my last video or my last review or whatever, my recap, Portia seems like ever since her and Cordell went their separate ways, she just seemed like she's like free. I'm free. You know what I mean? So she might just be enjoying that too. I think Portia just needs somebody that's going to give her a little bit of both. Portia needs somebody where in the beginning they kind of start off kind of like on some cat and mouse shit. He's in pursuit mode. She's kind of, but not too much because she is grown. But somebody that's going to start out not too serious, but somebody she can have a lot of fun with. And then as it picks up and they continue to be around each other, then it gets serious. Because I don't think she needs to jump into something serious right away with somebody because she just got out of a marriage and Portia seems like she's really enjoying her freedom and she's enjoying having fun. So I think that if she gets with somebody, that person needs to be able to bring that to her as well. Somebody that she can have fun with and also get to know as well. It doesn't have to always be so freaking serious. And then, like I said, as they pick up, then they can become serious. So that's just my opinion. But anywho, so Duke is a no call, no show. So Portia, of course, she's feeling some type of way. She calls Phaedra on the phone, and Phaedra's like, "Girl, you gotta let that go. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and chalk it up. It's okay. We all done been there. Just chalk it on up." So Portia's just like, So anyway, so they go on this trip, okay? They go on this trip. Candy on the bus knocked the hell out, okay? So, the truck picks up while Candy's Candy's back there sleeping. The truck picks up Kim, and they get in and they start talking and stuff, and um, then they go pick up. No, so while they're riding, Kenya and the light skinned chick Tammy with the braids or whatever, they riding together. Her, Tammy, and was Portia in the car with them, I think. So yeah, they talking or whatever. And Tammy throws shade at Sheree because Tammy is actually good friends with Sheree's ex husband, Bob or whatever. I think that's his name. And she's like, yeah, I think if he didn't play football, Tammy, I mean, uh, Sheree wouldn't have been with him, you know. So, um, that's what she was saying on there, which I don't know. I don't think she should have been saying all that. But anywho, so okay, so anyway, so they all go to this boat. Okay, they get on the boat ride. And honey, it was just shade all over the place. Girl. First of all, what's her name? Portia shows up with Shamia. I'm thinking about the one episode where Kenya called her Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Puff. Kenya is so funny. Anyway, so basically, you know, Kenya and the rest of the girls are looking on as Portia and Shamia comes or whatever. And Kenya's like, who the fuck invited her? I didn't invite her. So Kenya's already kind of like over Shamia before she even gets on the damn boat. She's like, who invited this bitch? I didn't invite her. So they get on the boat and everybody's greeting each other with hugs. Hey girl, hey girl. You know how they do. Hey girl. So Kenya actually just walks on past Shamia and is like, I didn't invite her. So they all start talking or whatever. And Kenya low key throws shade at Kim, talking about she's 50 years old. Kim's like, wait a minute, I'm 46. Sheree shades Tammy. I mean, it was just shade all over the place. Tammy's getting on Candy's fucking nerves, trying to get her nephew and Tammy and oh shit, Tammy's trying to get her nephew and Candy's studio, and Candy's like annoyed as hell with it. So they have all deemed Tammy as the weirdo of the crew. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even see what the hell Tammy's on here for. She is weird as hell, and she just seemed like they just threw her in there just to have an extra person in there. It was just so weird. So they all leave Tammy because she just starts talking. And they're like, this bitch is crazy. Let me get the hell away from her. Let me get the hell away from her. So after they leave Tammy because she's sitting over there talking crazy, looking silly, whatever. So they just start kind of turning up, having fun, popping pussies, shaking their asses, dancing or whatever. They're just having fun. So then they all start to sit and talk, and Kenya and Shamia start to have words. Like, Kenya brings up her event, and she's like, the only negative comment I got was from Shamia. And then Shamia's like, okay, well, I'm very proud of you and what you do, and I wasn't trying to be negative. Basically, going back to when Shamia asked Kenya about the water, about saying that she had saying her product was basically water. So um, Kenya decides, okay, well, bitch, I don't want you on my boat because you're bringing that negative energy even now. And Shamia's like, what? I wasn't trying to be negative, you know. So Kenya goes and tell the captain, Captain, there's somebody on my boat that I don't want on my boat. Can you escort her off? And they really never escorted Shamia off because Shamia was still on the boat at the end of the episode. But anywho, so she go get the captain or whatever, and she comes back, and so they start talking. And while they start talking, no, somebody told Portia to go. No, Cynthia was saying she was going to go get Shamia or something. Basically, Cynthia was saying she was going to go get somebody, going to go get Shamia to talk to her, whatever, whatever. And then she said something about. That's when Cynthia said something about, well, she has a best friend over here, so we had, it's um, we got to go see, about her or whatever. And then Cynthia said something about you'd be surprised at who your best friends are. It's a lot of people acting like your best friend, but they really not. And then don't give me the line, y'all. Don't quote me because I don't remember verbatim what the hell she said. But she said something along the lines of you would think that somebody's your best friend, but they really not. And then Portia was like, well, like who, bitch? Like that. But Portia said it in a very playful. To me, Portia said it in a manner in which she wasn't serious. She was just kind of just saying it. Honey, Cynthia took offense to that shit. Cynthia's like, don't call me no bitch. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me no bitch. That is so disrespectful. So Cynthia starts going off. So her and Portia start having words. So Cynthia walks off and goes over to the other side and just starts laying out or whatever. So um, Sheree and them tell Portia to go talk to her. Like, we need to go talk to her and let her know that you didn't mean it all like that. Da, da, da. And Portia's really kind of confused because she's like, yeah, I really didn't mean it like that. I can't understand why Cynthia's getting upset because as far as Portia's concerned, they all been on that boat talking shit to each other, laughing, having fun, using the word bitch loosely, and nobody got offended. While all of a sudden, now now Cynthia's offended. Like Portia really was trying to come for her or whatever. And like Candy said, what's the difference between the all the other bitches we said before? What's the difference between this bitch now and the bitches that we said before? We've been using the word bitch. A lot of time we women do that. But for whatever reason, Cynthia took this bitch that Portia said a little personal or whatever. So they get into it. They go back and forth. They go back and forth. So the next thing you know, while Portia goes over there to try to confront Cynthia, not to confront her, but to go talk to her, Cynthia was going off, and I didn't like how Cynthia gonna say, a lot of people say you're dumb, but I know your dumb ass know better than that. I didn't like that. How you gonna don't bring up what other people say about Portia? You know what I mean? That wasn't cool. So she's going off, and I guess Cynthia's ass is under a lot of pressure from the shit that's going on with her and Peter or whatever. And I think she just took it out on Portia. I really do. So they going back and forth. So some hands got tossed in the face. So next thing you know, Portia's ass decides to try to like straddle Cynthia. And as a way to defend herself, Cynthia kicked her ass off of her. Okay? Now I will say Portia shouldn't have tried to she shouldn't have tried to climb on top of Cynthia like that. And I didn't like how when Portia got kicked off to the side, I didn't like how the security dude gonna come over there and lay on top of her. The fuck? I didn't like that. Like he just wanted to cop a little free feel or some shit. So he's on top of her, holding her down, and Portia's going off. Kenya's on the side talking about, yeah, Portia crazy. Yeah, she's crazy. This is how she reacted with me, because remember when they got into it when Kenya put that bullhorn in Portia's face the on the reunion of their last season or whatever. And so there everybody's going off. Shamia's ass crying. And it was just an ugly ass scene. Like it was just like, oh my gosh, are you girls serious? I couldn't believe that coming out of Cynthia. I just think Cynthia was a little hard on Portia. I really do. I just think that she just, so it was a continuation episode. So I'm going to go into the continued episode. All right. So, like I said, I think Cynthia was a little too hard on Portia. Um, so Cynthia called Peter, right? She's like, I need you to come home. Something just happened. Me and Portia just got into it. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. Peter was like, fuck. He sounded to me like he was doing his thing over there in North Carolina. And he was mad that he had to leave whatever his thing was. Or he had to leave whatever he was doing or whoever he was doing, okay? To come home over some bullshit. Some female shit. I mean, I'm be honest. I'm just telling y'all. Peter did not seem like. I mean, he just really seemed like he's. Oh, let me shut up. Anyway, I think Portia's feelings was hurt. She was back at her mom's house. Her mom comes over with a bunch of food, and I thought that was sweet. That's what mommies are supposed to do. Come and they comfort you. You know what I'm saying? No matter how old you are, you know. So she came over there with all the food or whatever. So Portia's like, yeah, I don't understand why Cynthia did that. Like I said, I think it was a little bit much. I don't think Cynthia should have responded like that. Anyway, whew. So Cynthia and Peter have a conversation about it, and Peter's like, Cynthia's getting upset at Peter because he's like, I hope the girl is all right, and Cynthia's like, why the hell you keep saying that? Why you keep saying that? I mean, she is all right. She is all right. Just getting upset at Peter. Cynthia just act like she just need a fucking break from everybody. Shit. So they talk about that or whatever, and they start talking about them, and they hug it out. Okay. So anyway, Candy and Todd go to the doctor, and there really wasn't much to say about that scene. There just really wasn't a whole lot. So anyway, Kenya and Portia meet up. They talk about what happened, and I thought they was gonna get into an ugly little spat, but they end up smoothing it out before it got to that point. Because it seemed like uh, Cynthia was Portia. Kenya came at Portia on some. You see this pattern you have. You always want to get violent or whatever, whatever. So Portia started to reject Kenya. Like, look, I'm not trying to go there. You trying to blame everything on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with this fucking conversation. But they ended up smoothing things over though, so that was cool. Cause y'all know they had a fucking history of all the bullshit. So anyway, Kenya decides to set up another get together for them all because since the last one was ruined by Portia and Cynthia's ass, so she scheduled, she puts together another meetup or whatever, and Portia and Cynthia they go and talk. They go to the side and talk it everything out, like Cynthia apologizes and say, I didn't mean to do that. I know that was wrong. I apologize. And so meanwhile, at the table while they're talking, Kenya starts basically telling them about how she and Portia met up and how things almost went left field or whatever. So how they didn't go so well or whatever. So I'm like, why the hell is Kenya bringing that up? While Portia and Cynthia are already in the back talking about their fucking drama, she gonna bring up the conversation her and Portia just had. So, she was trying to say, it didn't go so well because Portia likes to, basically defend herself and just look at her, her side. And Candy, Candy jumps in and decides to point out, like, well, I think that's the same thing you do. It's so funny how sometimes I think Candy gets on Kenya's nerves, but for some reason Kenya never comes for Candy. I noticed that. Like she never really comes for Candy. She never really get out of pocket with Candy. Just like when they was on a boat and Candy was saying something that Portia didn't. I mean, Candy was saying something Kenya didn't agree with about what happened between her and between Portia and Cynthia, and Kenya was like, "Get it right, Candy." But she never really goes off on Candy. But anyway, at any rate, so Candy points that out like that's the same thing you do. So Kenya's like, well, I'm glad that Portia got such a great advocate over back here. I thought that was so funny. So anyway, um, Phaedra was like, Jesus, take the wheel and drive fast. Oh, that was so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so funny. So yeah, I think that was it, y'all. It really was. That was really the end of that really wasn't a whole lot, you know. So that was it, y'all. Alright, stay tuned for my next review. I'm about to go to bed. And I holla.